So a while back, we did part one with the London Electric Cars custom conversion shop. It's a bunch of really great guys doing really hard work. And it's funny because as much as you think it's a car shop, it's really a computer shop. It's all testing equipment. It's all laptops and computers and screens everywhere. Cars are more computers than ever before, even retro conversions. So let's just get into part two and go from there. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend.
And what we would thought, is it alright if what the mind would have just talk loud? Okay, because the mic is right on your shoulder. So here you've got an Austin Uni that's literally been stripped and being rebuilt. This is being built as a track car, so we're putting a 160 kilowatt motor in.
From what?
So it's 100, in fact, it's literally right here. So this is ready to go off the bat. This is a Nissan Leaf 160 kilowatt motor. And then this actually beautifully written sort of showcases what we do. So that's the original flywheel and clutch. So from here back is identical to the original combustible, so we can bolt this straight onto the original gearbox. But it is a Nissan Leaf 160 kilowatt motor.
And because they're air cooled,
this one's cool.
this one isn't. The other ones are.
Yeah, they're all, the motors are what's called, the batteries are.
The batteries.
And so it's on the significant.
That will save you a lot of steps.
Yes, absolutely. And we're lucky in this country that there's, you know, cool and temperature adapt level good here. So this stays in terms of the car. You can see some of the other cars that there's more of those darks. There's a Mercedes that's in for work. We've got Anglia gear that's collecting a little bit of dust. We're working on the battery management system. This has our own proprietary battery management system here, so we're doing a bit of R&D. This is lovely. This is the kind of thing where it's fully restored before it comes to us. Yeah. And at least had been needed to put the back then, and the stewards are bolted up. These, as I said, these are for a company to revive with. They do lovely work.
And they're just so beautiful.
Yeah. So these come with full heating. Again, trying to maintain your start investment. So it's about, in some real things, that's what do with the size. Now I want to cut it down. I really want to add the pole. And for the 40 kilowatt outlet, these battery can't be yet. I can take that all the way to the absolute large of this TV.
And what would the range be with a battery that small?
Around 120 miles, quite happily. Yeah. It was charges, but we're on type 1 right now.
Oh, that's fine.
We're in the process of installing Chademo. This which will go in the boot, we'll lint up the boot to fit it. There's lots of little things. Again, trying to sort these out for sort of, we're set up and sold. Right, rather than the rest of isn't to sell them is under the years, but to buy, these are selling for around 150 around the bot.
Sure.
So it's how to present a car.
Well, what would it be with a gas engine?
About 30.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It depends on the condition, but 30 grand probably, 30 to 40. If I convert it to electric, you really turn it into something critically. Bluetooth stereo, some heating, driving such randomly to tell all this stuff.
Yeah. London's got to be quiet.
Yes, it's a lot of electric cars. Yeah, it's really impressive actually. We've got some great videos of putting out of here, like an electric car a year, VW car a year, and as we do that, it VW ride the 2 wild spot.
I'm going to check my notes.
These are some of the components that we get out of the car piled up.
So on things like Beetles or cars that you've done in higher... Now, what car would you say you've done the most of?
Land Rovers and Minis, we've done 3 missions on the road, but another 2 in the shop. We've got 3 Land Rovers on the road, and we've got 4 in the shop.
And of all the conversions you do, what's the lowest price one that people are able to get?
So Land Rovers, Minis, and VWs are the ones where we say you can do without having to charge high price city, mainly because we've done the work before.
Right.
And we generally start around 35 grand the roads for conversion.
35,000 pounds.
The roof that bit. It goes up to sort of forces. And from there on up, and we've got what kind of range of performance of it for.
And how much underlying work outside of the drivetrain?
Yeah. So if you basically, we offer 2 types of conversion. We offer the repeatable ones that we've done before, which are sort of 30 to 50 probably. And we offer the one-off. And like, I know what reviews of that. The Major Continental, C is pretty angry. And those you're generally looking 60 to 104, because we're having to think about things, running to figure stuff out.
It's the one-offs.
Yes, exactly. So, and I tend not to think of that so much as conversions in the traditional sense, as that's where hot water is now. You're coming to us with a vision and a dream of something pretty special, and we're able to do that. Yeah, we're able to do something that's truly unique. So, again, the Lincoln Continental is getting a Tesla large sports drive unit in it, native kilowatt-hour battery pack, air ride suspension, we name it. So it's a special car. And we've been more or less done something for Peninsula Hotel Group. That we see even this time. This again, we're trying to come up with component system which is repeatable on this. I think I both have a lot of interest in this particular chassis type, and to the tune quite popular. But yeah, it's really using that repeatable process to try and get costs down.
Yeah. Okay. And are there times you use the same components over and over?
Yeah.
You know who your donor supplies are coming from.
Yeah.
That makes it repeatable. For the most part, you don't go outside of the Leaf components just because there's so many.
Yeah.
And that keeps the cost down.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, you will see there are Tesla battery modules. We bought LG fan, which I paid the battery packs. So absolutely, we're exploring other options.
Sure.
It just the initial R&D investment was in Leaf stuff. And never seen lots of it, and ways of repurposing it and so on. So yeah, so this is an example of our, this R&D basically going in it. Leaf modules in 100 volts system, and what we've got is a prototype BMS, where we're looking at the idea, which was nothing particularly original. You put them in on a battery box and it's sealed up, and that system doesn't open for decades. And then how do you make that safe to interact with? And basically, onboard BMS, contactors inside the box, fuses inside the box. The BMS lets you know whether it will turn on or not. That kind of stuff. Equally, these should store a car in 3 parallel 100-volt packs. Where we think before the contact is open, the BMS doesn't need to talk to her and say, yes, I'm healthy. What's the voltage differential? If for whatever reason the packs have been left for months and some of them are actually discharged or slightly lower, are the packs talking to one another and making sure that the BMS is drawing down the top packs, so the voltage differential is minimal. There's lots of really interesting, exciting stuff to explore in that kind of area. We probably suffer as much as anything from the space is so wide open that there are so many different things to look at and research and explore. It's almost there's too much, and kind of have to say, look, we can't do that. And in fact, with customers, we have to spend more time to say, I'm sorry, we just can't slow that project down because it's too much, it's too far away from where we've been previously.
Sure.
Despite the fact it might be really insight.
Yeah. Is that it is so wide open that if companies are looking to do one particular thing, there's a very high chance that no one else is already doing it.
Absolutely. We joke that, the joke used to be I'm the world's foremost expert on the electrification of the Morris Minor. But, equally, my colleague who did the Bond Bug, most of the work on the Bond Bug, he's now the world's foremost expert on the electrification of the Bond Bug because,
Without a doubt.
yeah, there's only 2 of them in the world, and he's done most work on it. And it's really exciting to be in a space like that where you're doing stuff that there aren't many other examples of in the world, and so and find these wonderful little niche, and that's my vibe, and you'll see that one of the things we're doing is sort of creating standalone companies that just focus on one brand, so just Land Rover conversion, just Mini conversions. Partly also because end users want traditionally you go to a company that specializes in one or two things, and so we'll end up being the tech supplier to those standalone companies. And you'll see a lot of the converters starting to be the B2B work, just because the opportunity is so large. And it's interesting, I find that the UK, by luck more than anything else, seems to have become a market leader in the conversion space. There's a sort of natural competition going on. We've got 3 or 4 companies that are really pushing the lead on things, which is great. The government does it through to realize that.
There was a shop in the U.S. The guy, Jack was his name. I don't remember his last name right now. Old guy, died of cancer.
Oh, yes, absolutely. EVTV.
Yeah.
And Jack Rickard. Yes.
Here, and his thing was, I don't know if I can let people convert cars anymore because new cars are so good.
Yes.
And it's an interesting point, but this will not stop.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. There's the classic car to electric is here, and it's not going anywhere. And it just, and I'm not saying there are people who think it's sacrilege. I get sure it's that quite a lot. There will remain classic car combustion engines in it forever. But like the steam traction engine,
Right.
they're going to become curiosities. It's difficult to maintain, and unfortunately, in many circles, poorly received by the public. And already we're seeing this side now. I'm not just an EV converter; I'm also a classic car enthusiast, and I remember many car clubs, all this kind of thing. And I'll go out with other people in tours and stuff like that, driving in London, and unfortunately, particularly in London, where they're just, the air is definitely improved. Younger people will stop old people in classic cars and tell, don't mind what's going on. They're keen to smoke it. If you would just light up a cigarette in a restaurant, you're going to get someone who's going to come and say, I don't know what if you don't be right out. EV conversion in this respect, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. Model cars are phenomenal. They're affordably priced. They come loaded with gadgets. However, the reason we're moving to electric, one of the fundamental reasons for it, is our CO2 output, and we need to figure out a way of managing this transition more effectively than just producing lean cars. And I appreciate that's a paradigm shift that will cause a lot of problems for a lot of people in terms of jobs in the car industry. Try turning around to VW and saying that you can't produce millions of cars from that. Nissan, you can't produce millions of cars a year, which is just not sustainable, particularly if what we're doing it for is what you say to do it for.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen in that space. No, and we've got the British Innovation Group giving money to Toyota to work on hydrogen cars that they've been working on for decades, and so it's and there's still a lot of the tax man. We had some of the enthusiasts who've done single one-off cars. We had the stupid rule that after approach 12 or something like that, you convert a car to electric, they don't have the mechanism to remove the CO2 output from the registration, which is just, it's bureaucratic. Right. The car doesn't produce CO2 anymore. Remove it from Well, that's how they judge their tax rates, is by the CO2. So that if you remove the CO2 from the registration, how does the taxman tax the car? This guy wrote to the Treasury and said, this is silly. And the Treasury wrote back with an absurd email, about thought of cars, taxes, safety. So, there's a lot of other things at play than just, can you convert a car to electric? There's budget, subsidies, safety, registration, politics, employment. So it's a big thing. But yes, for now, you're going to see plenty of shops like this. You're going to do classic cars, whether you want to call it hot rodding or conversion for environmental reasons or whatever. There's really strong demand for this concept.
So you're telling me that this is not a high-powered hot rod engine?
So it's a lovely little A series.
It's adorable.
1098. They're beautiful little things, and they got us around the world for the better part of 100 years.
Delicious.
Steam train.
Yeah. And steam trains, like you said, still exist. I have ridden them.
Yeah, we have one that passes over here every few days for the Orient Express. I think with Brexit, that's now being solved, unfortunately.
Very nice.
They work, and they're not going to vanish overnight,
Right.
but people understand the consequences of using them now. And also, I think we've got a slightly better grasp of how we actually use our cars than we used to, which is slightly based around sort of principles, particularly in America. Yeah, great.
Route 66.
To hit the road, Jack.
Yeah. How many souls with the cars in the name?
Absolutely. Yeah. And there still is that sort of idea, you get the driver's license and you can leave your troubles behind.
And find all new troubles.
Actually.
All right.
But yeah. Fun. It's supposed to be in.
Well, thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you.
So there it is, and there you go. Yeah, that was part 2. I hope you liked it. I liked it. I mean, I'm a little biased, so who knows. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big thanks to my patrons who get early access, bonus content, and ad-free experience in many cases, and help keep the channel running for as little as $1 a month. Oh, YouTube is famously the devil. So yeah. And by the way, for those curious, my comedy channel was demonetized. Every time you guys would watch a million videos, they would cite it as bot activity and remove it. So they're not going to show the videos, and you guys can't watch the videos in ways that count. Demonetized. Hey man, what are you going to do? So, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever ding-dongs on the flingity-dingity-dingity-doo-dah. That's a thing, right?